It's now my pleasure to invite to the podium Mr. Dennis Hunt, who is the head adjudicator for this awards evening. He will give a short introduction of the awards, and then he will be joined by Tsegofatso Monama, who will assist with the awards. And I think at that stage we will ask the Honourable Minister to kindly make her way back to the stage. But first I hand over to Mr. Dennis Hunt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly didn't plan at this stage, having listened to some very inspiring remarks, to make a speech. A few introductory words is what I'm allowed. However, I think after what Minister Pandor has told us, I think we owe her a comment to say all of that was most encouraging news for science and technology, and I think based on her remarks and her work that she's done, we are extremely fortunate to have Mrs. Pandor as our Minister of Science and Technology. And thank you to her for her words this evening. Minister Pandor, distinguished guests, NSTF members, finalists, and those school principals, teachers and students who were able to join us tonight. The NSTF Awards for 2010 to 11 recognizes and celebrates outstanding contributions in science, engineering, technology and innovation in categories as set out in the Who's Who brochure which you had on your tables. The call has attracted 73 nominations in all categories. Ironically, the same number as last year. We continued with the intent to nominate process, and 103 declarations or intents to nominate were received in November, compared to, guess what, 104 last year. The process, we believe, has definite merit in alerting our constituency to give thought to the matter at an early stage. We realise that these nominations take time and effort to prepare, but we believe they're essential to provide us with the information to be able to do the work. We do not go out and conduct research. We don't have those kind of resources. So we rely on what is presented to us in the nomination form. The closing date this year does, however, come as a shock, or came as a shock to many. And perhaps it might be prudent to delay it somewhat into the year in future. The full list of nominations was published in April. We are proud of the extent to which achievers in our society have been prepared to make their names available for these awards and to tell their stories. This is a tribute to the regard in which these awards are held and the commitment from the SETI community to the objectives we in the NSTF have set ourselves. I said the same thing last year, but I believe that it remains true and important to those here for the first time to hear that. We remain open to suggestions as to how the awards might be improved. Two issues in particular are worthy of some comment. The research for innovation categories were merged into one category with the undertaking from us that we endeavour to make up to 3 awards where we could, choosing between comparable organisations. We still received the same number of nominations this year as we had last year. But I don't believe we should be discouraged by that, since in many respects this year and last has been hard going for most businesses. And finding the time to be innovative and keep the ship afloat might not have left the necessary time to the job of recording achievements. I believe we should continue with this model. We've noted again that our previous winners are still coming back for more. We welcome that, but remain challenged to not award a second trophy for the same work. We are working on this, and we might ask for more information in future so that we are being fair and being seen to be fair. We've prided ourselves on approaching our constituency with a commitment to making awards for outstanding contributions, which can stand up and be counted as such. Nonetheless, the pattern of submissions we see today makes me, and I believe us in the NSTF, confident that the time is not far off when we can make the awards less racially categorized and gender specific. I believe that we can retain an understanding that we wish to be able to continue to be encouraging contributions from all sectors of society, and so making the several awards in a category can help us to do that. It must be remembered that we've never said that our choice in any category was what we considered to be the best or the most outstanding. We have never been so arrogant as to believe we could make that kind of judgment. Our choices have been for an outstanding contribution, which must obviously reflect excellence. But in so doing, we have tried to take into account the circumstances in which the contribution has made. I believe this has worked extraordinarily well. Our sponsors have to be taken with us in any change, but especially the young researchers today want to compete on an equal footing with their peers, and we find that many women wish to be seen to be doing so as well. And I think sometimes we may have missed some nominations of high excellence for these reasons. I'm especially grateful to my colleagues on the adjudication panel, as well as to the members of the peer review panel who are named in the booklet and who gave selflessly of their time to the selection of the winners. Now we come to the awards themselves. A few words on the protocol. We've set out the names of the finalists in the booklet with a citation, and they were given a certificate at the plenary meeting earlier this month. In recognition of the work done in preparation of the nomination, nominators of the winners have been set out in the press release. A finalist, by our definition, is a nomination considered eligible for the award. It qualifies to be considered as a potential winner in the category and has made an outstanding contribution. We note that finalists claim this honor in their CVs, which is gratifying. At one level, and this has been echoed by our chairlady and others in the program earlier, all our finalists are winners. So please, let us recognize and celebrate the finalists. Would all the finalists please stand? Please, would Minister Mrs. Naledi Pandor, and one day I can perhaps tell you something about this Ms. thing, but not today. Minister of Science and Technology, won't you come forward and join us on the stage? And also will Dr. Xolani Mkhwanazi, the chairman of BH Billiton, also join us on the platform for the first category. Our first category is individual over a lifetime.